So in this introduction, we're going to go over Autodesk Fusion 360. This is one of the newer programs that has come out for computer-aided drafting. Autodesk always also puts out AutoCAD, Inventor. Um, there were also some other programs that they've put out that have given us the ability to do some 3D work, but this has really changed 3D design for the better and has actually helped us improve on what we already had for 3D designing. So off the bat, when you first open Autodesk Fusion, it's going to ask you to create a Autodesk account. You could use any email in order to create this. The other thing I want to say about Fusion is that this is free to download. They have 3-year licenses for education. They also have a free 3-year license for hobbyists, so people that are just at home and want to tinker with it, so not a student but just want to get interested in CAD. So that's pretty awesome. Fusion 360, the really cool thing that they've implemented that other programs haven't is, I'm going to click this panel right here, and all these are different designs that get backed up to the cloud, so I don't have to save these to my computer, and I could open them off the cloud. And I can make folders in order to do it. It makes your default folder as your name, first project, and maybe you have multiple designs of a certain version that you've changed some things as you go along, so every time you hit save on the same project, it'll actually create a new version of it. So this love menu holder was for a coworker. It's a love spelled out with a little clip on the back, and we had to actually do some revisions multiple times. So this is actually version 4 of it. I could go back and look at all the different versions. If you look at this version 1, you can actually see that the heart of love used to be an O. So we did a lot of changes to it just to make sure that it was everything that he wanted before we actually created it. And it saves all those just in case I need to go back and I want to look at a previous version. Now, that being said, all this is on the cloud, so we don't store anything on our computer, which is really great. Now, this is just regular commands, just like anything you would see on any pretty much drafting software. If you hit this drop down under Sketch, we get all of our different commands, and there's a lot of hotkeys for everything. So line is L, rectangle, 2-point is the most common, there's R, circle is C, and that's a diameter circle. We might use spline in order to sketch something out. There's also a text option to draw text there and create some sort of text. We have fillet, trim, offset, and the really big one that came in with this program, the really big one that I like, is something called press pull, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And that's right here, this press pull option, which is hotkey to Q. In Create, we have our extrude, revolve, sweep. These are all very common commands. Hole. We can make a cylinder, a box. These are all very common for all the programs that we've used. Create form, that's more of along the lines of taking a 3D object and sculpting it into something. Create mesh could be used in order to actually create some sort of 3D mesh that is see-through and not it'll just be like an outer layer of something. And then we have fillet, chamfer, shell, draft, replace face, move, align. We could change physical appearances. We could go into a material library and check out all the materials that we're given. There's actually a lot preloaded on here already. We also have an assemble option built into here, so we could take things and we could join them together. So unlike past programs like Inventor, we would actually have to create multiple files and then put them all together. In here, you could actually create multiple parts in one and then just assemble them inside of each other. So we also have the construct option. Offset plane is one of the most common planes here. We have mid-plane in between 2 points, and then just a bunch of axes, planes, or points in order to use different commands. We have inspect. We could use the measure command to measure certain things. We also have draft analysis. This is in order to see it says to help evaluate the manufacturability of your design. So the main use of this is actually to check weight ability. So is a table able to hold, you know, plates, dishes, cups, all that stuff, or is able to hold someone who sits on it? And we could test all that inside of here if we design a table. Insert, this is going to be an awesome command that we're going to use a lot. We could insert decals on different designs that we make. We could attach a canvas, which means we could take a picture of a car and put it in the background of our design in order to make it. We could insert a mesh, which I've already talked about a mesh. That's an STL file. We could insert an SVG file, and we'll talk about that later. Insert DXF. McMaster-Carr, what this is, insert McMaster-Carr component. McMaster-Carr is one of the largest distributors of fasteners. So what a fastener is something that connects a part to another part. So let's just say a screw or a nut or a bolt, whatever it might be, McMaster-Carr makes them all. And the great thing about McMaster-Carr is that they actually have included their entire catalog into Fusion for us. So if ever we're building something and we need screws for it and we don't want to go to a store and measure screws and figure out what we need, we could actually insert a McMaster-Carr component into Fusion and order it straight off their website after designing it, which makes it great for us. And then we also have the make option where we could 3D print stuff. This down here is also just a bunch of advertisements. All these companies pay to be on here. Anything below 3D print is going to be getting quoted for 3D print jobs for your model. So you could actually model something in here. You could say, get a quote from Proto Labs, and you could send that part to them, and they'll say, okay, it's going to cost us, they could say it's going to cost us $5 to make this, so we're going to charge you $10 and ship it out to you. So if you don't have a 3D printer at home, these are a bunch of options for you. And then also we have add-ins that Fusion has actually built in to the computer software. Unfortunately for my school, they don't allow us to download any software without the consent of the tech department. So any scripts or add-ins are awesome for at home, but unfortunately we can't use them during class. A couple scripts or add-ins I just like to talk about. I'm not going to go through them real quick, but one is making gears. There's a great add-in to make gears that you could download online, and there's also a slicer add-in which allows you to actually slice an object to make it 3D printable all inside of Fusion instead of having another program to do it. Now besides that, let's get started on our first drawing.